per year, and any family of four making less than $67,500 per year will have $0 payments. The news comes just weeks before interest will start accruing on student loans for the first time in over 3 years. I'm Ryan Daniels.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says it was evil for Texas Governor Greg Abbott to bus migrants to the city while it was dealing with Tropical Storm Hillary. A bus from Texas with over 36 migrants arrived in downtown LA on Monday. Bass said that while the city braced for an unprecedented storm, the Republican governor sent families straight on a path through extreme weather conditions. An Omaha daycare where a baby died after being left in a hot van is now temporarily closed. The driver of that daycare van now faces charges of child abuse by neglect, resulting in death. This is USA News.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
To your left, our new exhibit, Monarchs of Springfield. And right here, we have our empty tour guide stand.
The last time Bryn hired someone is ancient history.
Sir, excuse me, that's not part of the exhibit.
They need tour guides who know the museum ropes.
Hey, kid, you like wearing khakis? I got a job for you.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Liberalism is back in style. Welcome to the evolution.
Turns out there is a chance that trying to violently overthrow our democracy might be illegal. To paraphrase an idiot and his bloodthirsty mob, lock him up.
I'm back, bitches! What if you knew Fox News was just lying to you? Ask that you watch when you know. He was voted Variety Entertainer of the Year in the Excellence in the Arts Awards and is one of the highest Arbitron, now Nielsen-rated talk radio hosts in Las Vegas. He is also a refreshing voice of logic and reason. Live from the entertainment capital of the world, Doug Basham.
I know words. I have the best words. I love the poorly educated.
Right under the toilet. And good morning, my fellow wokes and Republican jokes. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Doug Basham, and welcome to the Doug Basham Show right here on KSHP in Las Vegas and on social media sites, and to a genuine demonstration of excellence in broadcasting. The website is DougBasham.com. Last name spelled B as in bigotry, ASHAM as in malcontent. DougBasham.com. My email, Doug at DougBasham.com. Now, what my website does, right underneath the show's logo at the top, it provides you with links to everything associated with the show. In particular, links to all my social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, on which we both broadcast this show live and archive the shows. If you go to my website, click on the YouTube link. Once there, just click on the link that says live, and you can either watch the show live or view the archive shows. And while you're on my YouTube page, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button. Or, as humanity's Orange Stain would say,
There's just one thing that you need to know. Trump said, do us a favor, though. There's just one thing that you need to know. Trump said, do us a favor, though.
221-7283 is our call-in number here at the station, folks. If you would like to talk on the radio later, as in somewhere in our next half hour, that's 702-221-SAVE, as in Save Our Democracy, which, of course, is our ultimate goal in each and every show we do. Lock him up. Another quick programming note, folks. I've made an executive decision to put a hold on our big experiment of me broadcasting the show from my home. Yesterday's show was, well, I don't want to say an unmitigated disaster, but I actually deleted it from all my social media sites that archived the show. We had static all over the place, drove Justin nuts in his headset. I didn't hear it at home because I can't hear anything there, but it was driving Justin nuts. The camera went blurry for like 15 minutes. We had volume control issues, all of which we may have been able to overcome and likely will. But there's one thing I haven't figured out how to conquer. One of the main reasons I wanted to do the show from home was because it gave me the opportunity to play not just audio clips, but video clips as well. Problem is, there is a huge difference between editing audio clips and video ones. Once I edit an audio clip to where I want it and I stick my two swooshes at the beginning and the end, I can save that audio clip in like 10 seconds or less. Last night I had a couple video clips I had edited to where I wanted them, and it took like 12, 13 minutes to save each one. That's almost a half an hour for two video clips. And while I'm waiting for them to save, I'm stuck and I can't do anything else. And the other problem is I don't start this process until 9 p.m. after I've finished watching my news and deciding what I want to use in the next day's show. And with the time it takes to edit and save video clips, I'd be up till the wee hours of the morning, which just doesn't fly when you're doing a morning show. So, until I discover a way to save video clips in a much quicker fashion, we're back in the studio playing audio clips. So, let's get on with it. After weeks of breathless anticipation, I say, the long wait is over. In just a few hours, it's happening, or as the venerable and knighted Rod Stewart once sang,
Just let your inhibitions run. The secret is about to unfold. Upstairs before the night's too old. The night gonna be alright. This time of year ain't nobody gonna stop us now. Come on, baby.
yeah! In just under 6 hours, a bona fide bunch of spineless chicken hearts will walk onto a stage in Milwaukee and tell people why they should vote for them and not the guy they're too gutless to attack with any force, Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson aside. Instead, it's expected they will praise and defend Trump and gently tiptoe around him to varying degrees, I'm sure, depending, of course, on the individual candidate. There will be 8 contestants on stage tonight: Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson, and 6 jellyfish. Those 6 invertebrates are Vivek Rhymes with Cake Ramaswamy, Uncle Tim Scott, Rancid Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and of course the former Vice Squish Mike Pence, who of course was born to be mild. Now, apparently, Doug Burgum's status for tonight's debate is questionable. He was taken to the emergency room last night after injuring his leg playing basketball with his staff. There are 5 candidates who will not be attending. They are Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, businessman Perry Johnson, former Representative Will Hurd of Texas, right-wing hate radio host Larry Relief Factor Elder, and of course, the malignant mango himself, Donald Trump, who will be busy preparing for his 4th perp walk tomorrow and potentially the first ever presidential mugshot. And remember this, folks, as routine as it's becoming for an ex-president to be indicted and arrested, it's not normal. It's not normal. And it should never, ever be normalized or used to raise funds or used as some sort of sick rallying cry around a campaign. The only people who would do this and not feel shamed by this are those with zero shame, like shameless Donald Trump and his shameless brain-dead base. And did you hear this? The online sports books are offering proposition bets tied to Trump's indictment in Georgia tomorrow. One bookmaker's site, Bet Online, on Friday offered an over-under of 273.5 pounds for Trump's weight. According to Bet Online employee Dave Mason, 77% of gamblers have taken the over bet on Trump's weight so far, which has spurred the sportsbook to increase the total by 8 pounds. Other proposition bets offered on Bet Online include whether Trump will be smiling in his Georgia mugshot. Currently, the bookmaker heavily favors a no mugshot smile, offering odds 2 to 11 that the mugshot will remain dour. On the subject of tie color, red is the favorite, 4 to 1 odds. I don't know how to read this. I'm not a gambler. It says 4-9, whatever that means, or an implied probability of 69%. No tie is the second favorite option at 17 to 4 odds, while green offers the longest odds at 25 to 1. Another online sports book, Bovada, is offering odds on whether Trump will be wearing a MAGA hat in his Georgia mugshot, an outcome listed on Friday at 25 to 1 odds. I didn't think they allowed you to wear a hat when you're getting your mugshot taken. I mean, they've never allowed me to. Bovada is also taking bets on whether the former president will be handcuffed and what sorts of phrases he'll post on his anti-social media site after his arraignment. Among the choices are Marxist left, perfect phone call, and fake indictment. The article didn't say what some of the other choices are. It didn't. I would think one of them would be, well, maybe not witch hunt. That would be too obvious, but that would be my odds-on favorite. And by the way, former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger agrees with yours truly as to why Trump is skipping the debate.
You know, if he was the incumbent running for re-election, you know, if this was 2020, and I get that, but he lost. He lost for the Republicans, the presidency. The Republicans have done nothing but lose since Donald Trump. And so I think if he's going to ask for their vote, he needs to come in front of them again and explain why this time, instead of being a loser, he'll be a winner. But he's not going to do it. I don't think it's as much, and I'm sure, you know, some political consultants, and they may be right from a tactical perspective, would say, you know, don't go debate, there's no benefit in it. But honestly, Donald Trump is a coward. He's scared to death of Chris Christie, because I think Chris Christie is going to wipe the floor with him. And I think that's what he's afraid of. So what'll be interesting in this debate is watching everybody kind of try to show their bona fides and pretend like they're tough, by attacking everybody else on that stage and staying quiet with a few exceptions on Donald Trump.
Great minds, Adam. Great minds indeed. Now, one of the requirements the RNC set for candidates to qualify for this debate was that they had to each hit at least 40,000 unique donors and register at least 1% in 3 national polls, 1%, or 1% in 2 national polls and 1% in 1 early state poll. Few candidates had trouble reaching the donor threshold, but some had to employ perhaps dubious methods to do so. Doug Burgum, again the governor of New York, offered $20 gift cards to those who donated at least $1 to his campaign. One of the perks, I guess, of being an elite and wealthy self-funding candidate. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez's PAC offered up to $15,000 in a college tuition sweepstakes for a lucky donor. Vivek Rhymes with Cake offered to return 10% of contributions to those who donated to his campaign. Perry Johnson sold T-shirts for $1, hoping he'd get enough donors to make the debate. Burgum and Vivek succeeded. Suarez and Johnson did not. But mainly it was the polling that got in the way for these guys, especially for those with little name recognition, like the aforementioned Doug Burgum. I'll be honest, I had never even heard of this guy until he announced he was running, and he's a governor. Same with Perry Johnson and Francis Suarez. And speaking of Suarez, credit to him. He took his not qualifying for the debate in stride and attributed it accurately, I think, to his lack of name recognition. Others did not take it as well. Representative Will Hurd of Texas, who I like, protested the committee's decision not to include polls that surveyed independents and Democrats willing to vote for a Republican. He said yesterday, quote, "The lack of transparency and confusion around the RNC's debate requirements is antithetical to the democratic process. The American people deserve better," end quote. And then Hurd's director of communications, Natalie Johnson, said, quote, "If the GOP is looking to grow our electorate and beat Joe Biden, then we better have a clear understanding of what qualifies as a likely Republican voter. Anyone, regardless of party, who is willing to check the box for a Republican should be considered a likely Republican voter. Expanding our party should be applauded, not penalized," end quote. And I, for one, am disappointed. I watched the entirety of Hurd's 20-minute speech in Iowa. For a Republican, he's pretty darn smart and informed. And I don't mean just about Trump and the 2020 election. When he spoke on the issues of the day, he displayed a depth and understanding of the nuances and intricacies of the challenges we face that few members of today's QOP would even understand, let alone be able to articulate. Now, I wouldn't vote for him. He is a Republican after all, and I've long said any vote for any Republican is a vote for a political party who has made it crystal clear they are done with democracy. However, I wouldn't feel anywhere near the sense of doom and gloom with Will Hurd that I would if we had to endure and suffer another 4 years of President Treason Weasel. And frankly, I don't think we will. But back to those who failed to qualify. Perry Johnson. Again, who is Perry Johnson? He tweeted the following, quote, "The debate process has been corrupted, plain and simple. Our campaign hit every metric put forward by the RNC, and we have qualified for the debate. We'll be in Milwaukee Wednesday, and we'll have more to say tomorrow," end quote. And apparently, he might be telling the truth. I saw more than one report that suggested he had indeed qualified. And apparently, last I heard last night, he was considering filing a lawsuit against the RNC after this first debate and asking for $11 million in damages. That's apparently how much of his own money he spent on his campaign/vanity project to date. Johnson said, quote, "I think the whole RNC system is corrupt. They decide who they want to have in the debate, and they engineer it accordingly." End quote. Perry, your whole party writ large is corrupt. That's their calling card. They support a traitor and dictator wannabe as the head of their party. I mean, it's not just the RNC, although no argument here, but it's a whole lot more than the RNC that truly sucks the big one. And then there was the ever-belligerent Larry Elder, fresh from the beatdown he suffered at the hands of California Governor Gavin Newsom. And no, Larry won't be attending the debate either. And I got to tell you, there are few people who invoke the visceral reaction I have every time I see this Larry Elder stooge. Seriously, just looking at him angers me. Most people like him have a chip on their shoulder. Larry Elder has a chip on his face. Elder complained that the RNC wasn't counting polls from Rasmussen, which in all honesty, I got to go with the RNC on this. Rasmussen is not in any way, shape, or form a reputable, authentic polling organization. And by the way, that's essentially the same reason they gave Perry Johnson. And again, who is Perry Johnson? So, Elder grabbed his trusty cell phone, hit the record button, and created this video in what at first looks like, if you check the background, a Walmart? And my first thought was, Larry lives in Los Angeles. Perhaps the rain and strong winds blew his tent down, flooded his trailer. But then Elder announced at the beginning of the video that he was at the Los Angeles airport. Oh, that's so much better.
As you can see, I'm at LAX en route to Milwaukee. I was just informed by the RNC that I'm not qualified for the debate. Why? Even though I exceeded the 40,000 individual donations required, even though I signed the pledge to support the eventual nominee, even though I submitted 3 polls where I was at least at 1%, I was informed that one of the polls is not eligible. It's the Rasmussen poll, even though it was the most accurate poll in predicting that Donald Trump would win in 2016. They say it is affiliated with Donald Trump and therefore it is not eligible. And I said to Ronna McDaniel, the chairwoman of the RNC, it's not affiliated with me. She said any poll affiliated with any candidate is not eligible. And no one told me that until just now. So we're filing an emergency injunction to get me up there. This is absolutely BS. One of the candidates, by the way, offered a $20 gift certificate for a $1 donation. That apparently is okay. Another one offered a free, air quote, country western concert for a $1 donation. That apparently is okay. Another one offered a commission to prospective donors to get other prospective donors. That apparently is okay. But I did it the old-fashioned way, asking people to support me by going to LarryElder.com, and that is not okay. And now all of a sudden, I'm not eligible. It is designed, in my opinion, to make sure that Ron DeSantis is the nominee, anybody other than Trump. This is BS. I will see you in Milwaukee. Out.
And apparently this emergency injunction Elder said he was filing, it's to actually stop the debate tonight from taking place. Good luck with that, Lair. And I'm sorry, not sorry. It wouldn't matter how many gift certificates you gave me or concert tickets or anything else. There is no way in holy hell I would ever vote for this Larry Elder mook. First, he's a Republican. Second, he's a right-wing hate radio host. And third, he's Larry Elder. So one thing I would like you to call in and tell me today, whether you're on the right or the left, is what you are realistically expecting from this QOP debate tonight. I mean, I think we know what to expect from Chris Christie. In fact, I predict he will be the star of the show, and certainly the one who will produce the most powerful, memorable, and certainly truthful declarations. I'm sure we'll be hearing most of them, or some of them, tomorrow on this show. Asa Hutchinson, he will be Christie light, but will still speak the truth, I suspect, for the most part. And what about the others? Will Fox Noise, will their moderators ask the pardon question? And if they do, how will everyone respond? We're pretty sure how Vivek rhymes with cake Ramaswamy will respond. Although, with Trump chickening out of the debate, Vivek now has an opening. And perhaps he'll repeat what we heard him say on yesterday's show, if indeed you heard it. That Trump's refusal to attend the debate shows he's not the same candidate he was in 2016. Well, no poop, Sherlock. 4 indictments and 91 charges different. And again, every damn one of them brought on by Trump and Trump himself and no one else. What I think the approach of the 6 cowards on stage will be, they won't attack Trump directly, but they'll say things like, he's a victim of the weaponized Biden DOJ. I think you'll hear two-tier justice system quite a bit. I think that you'll hear that while Trump's first term was such a blessing for this country, we need a leader who isn't burdened by 4 indictments and 91 charges, which is true, just not a Republican. I'm sure we'll hear the name Hunter Biden more than once. What I'm wondering is, will any of them invoke the name of Hillary Clinton? But what do you think? You can let me know in the next half hour. 221-7283 is our number. Write it down. Program it into your phone. 702-221-SAVE. And you know, with all this attention being focused on this first QOP debate tonight, one exchange from one particular past debate popped into my head last night. It was held on Wednesday, October 19th, 2016, and it was the 3rd debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Add to that, it was held right here in Las Vegas over at UNLV. And I couldn't remember everything that was said in this exchange, but I did recall the gist of it and how prophetic it turned out to be. So I went online, I dug around, I found this debate in this clip, and I listened to it, and everything suddenly became collectively big picture for me. And I realized how little has really changed the past 8 years or so. Let's listen to this exchange and then relate it to how it pertains precisely to what's going on today. We'll first hear the question moderator Chris Wallace asks the orange skid mark.
Mr. Trump, I want to ask you about one last question in this topic. You have been warning at rallies recently that this election is rigged and that Hillary Clinton is in the process of trying to steal it from you. Your running mate, Governor Pence, pledged on Sunday that he and you, his words, will absolutely accept the result of this election. Today, your daughter Ivanka said the same thing. I want to ask you here on the stage tonight, do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
And then it fell to Trump to respond. And as usual, being the hater of democracy he is, he launched into an attack on some of the very institutions necessary for our democracy's survival, beginning with, of course, the corrupt media.
Do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time. What I've seen is so bad. First of all, the media is so dishonest and so corrupt, and the pile-on is so amazing. The New York Times actually wrote an article about it that they don't even care. It's so dishonest, and they've poisoned the minds of the voters. But unfortunately for them, I think the voters are seeing through it. I think they're going to see through it. We'll find out on November 8th, but I think they're going to see through it.
But, sir...
And of course, Trump had to offer one of his lie tells there. In this case, the more than vague, what I see is so bad. What I see is so bad. He doesn't see Shisky. He's just lying, and that phrase is a tell that he's lying and BSing. Trump then attacked our electoral system.
If you look, excuse me, Chris, if you look at your voter rolls, you will see millions of people that are registered to vote. Millions. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from Pew Report and other places. Millions of people that are registered to vote that shouldn't be registered to vote.
And finally, Trump went after Hillary Clinton herself. And listen to what he says. And remember, what he's about to accuse Hillary of having done had already been investigated with no charges being levied against her.
Let me just give you one other thing. So I talk about the corrupt media. I talk about the millions of people. Tell you one other thing. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's guilty of a very, very serious crime. She should not be allowed to run. And just in that respect, I say it's rigged because she should never have been allowed to run for the presidency based on what she did with emails and so many other things.
But, sir, there is a tradition in this country. In fact, one of the prides of this country is the peaceful transition of power, and that no matter how hard fought a campaign is, that at the end of the campaign, that the loser concedes to the winner. Not saying that you're necessarily going to be the loser or the winner, but that the loser concedes to the winner and that the country comes together in part for the good of the country. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
I will tell you at the time. I will keep you in suspense. At that time in 2016, Trump said Hillary shouldn't be allowed to run. Hillary Clinton, 0 indictments, 0 charges, shouldn't be allowed to run. Fast forward to 2023, Donald Trump, 4 indictments, 91 charges so far, broke the law and more than once violated the Constitution, which explicitly states he should not be allowed to run, tried to steal an election he had admitted he'd lost, and of course, he should be allowed to run. And is. There is something seriously wrong with this country and its laws. And then it was Hillary's turn to respond, and listen to the items she listed and notice the only one Trump cared to address.
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying. You know, every time Donald thinks things are not going in his direction, he claims whatever it is rigged against him. The FBI conducted a year-long investigation into my emails. They concluded there was no case. He said the FBI was rigged. He lost the Iowa caucus. He lost the Wisconsin primary. He said the Republican primary was rigged against him. Then Trump University gets sued for fraud and racketeering. He claims the court system and the federal judge is rigged against him. There was even a time when he didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged against him.
Should have gotten it.
This is a mindset. This is how Donald thinks. And it's funny, but it's also really troubling.
And it was responses like this that inspired Hillary Clinton memes online, such as, Hillary was right about everything, and she was. There was another meme featuring a photo of Hillary with the caption, quote, I tried to warn you, mother effers, end quote. She did indeed. Unfortunately, there were millions of extremely ignorant, gullible, and frankly, stupid people who didn't heed her warning. And now look where we're at. A twice impeached, 3-time election loser and a quadrice indicted traitor is the leading candidate in an American presidential race. And to bring this up to today, I got to thinking, everything Trump is going through now in his federal indictment in Washington, D.C., and his state indictment in Fulton County, Georgia, is the result of a lie he began telling back in 2016, that election was going to be rigged. That is, until he won. And then suddenly, he stopped telling that lie with virtually no blowback or repercussions. And then he dusted that rigged election lie off in his re-election bid and continues to repeat it to this day. Which begs this question, and it raises a conundrum in my mind. Trump's brain-dead MAGA cult base, if they're so willing to believe Trump when he says the election was rigged in 2020 and thus refer to Joe Biden as an illegitimate president, why didn't they believe the 2016 election was rigged when their orange god told them it would be, and thus call Trump an illegitimate president? Both times he claimed rigged election, but only once did his supporters believe him. Why? Because that's what cult members do. And it took long enough, but it seems that finally, the long arm of the law is catching up with this short-fingered, lifelong liar, criminal, traitor, and the most illegitimate president this nation has ever had to suffer and endure, and thankfully survived, albeit just barely. 221-7283 is our call-in number, folks. If you've got something you need to say, we're willing to listen to it. That's 702-221-SAVE. Now, we are not only on Debate Watch this week, we are also on Surrender Watch, as Trump and his 18 fellow racketeers have until Friday to surrender at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia and be arrested. A few of them did so yesterday, including one Scott Hall, not exactly a household name yet. Who's he? He's a Georgia bail bondsman, and in Fonnie Willis's indictment, Hall is charged with 7 criminal counts, as in violating Georgia's racketeering law, conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to commit a felony, and conspiracy to defraud the state. And here's where this election/racketeering conspiracy takes a Watergate turn. In the indictment, Hall is accused of attempting to illegally break into election machines in Coffee County, Georgia, on January 7th, 2021, the day after the attack on the Capitol in Washington. The day after. Jesus, did these people all overdose on stupid pills? The indictment alleges that Hall and several other co-defendants, including pro-Trump lawyer Sidney Kraken Powell, willfully tampered with electronic ballot markers and Dominion tabulating machines with the intention of taking data. Their efforts put official ballots into the hands of unauthorized people outside the county, according to the indictment. And Hall isn't the only one charged with this. 2 other Georgia residents, Kathy Latham and Misty Hampton, not household names either, yet, have been charged with conspiracy to commit election fraud, computer fraud, illegal access to voting machines, and invasion of privacy. So we don't just have racketeers, we now have Nixonian plumbers, which became a major element of the Watergate scandal that led to Nixon's resignation. And it sounds like Trump's plumbers were just as comically incompetent as Nixon's were. But both Nixon's plumbers and what we can now call, I guess, the Coffee County Three, tried to seize sensitive information. And Trump's plumbers who breached the voting machines in Coffee County, they didn't even try to conceal what they were doing. Surveillance video outside the election office shows Kathy Latham escorting members of the tech firm hired by the Trump campaign into the building where the voting machines were, while video taken outside shows Trump loyalists and the techs. Video inside, he meant to say, shows Trump loyalists and the techs handling the voting equipment. This Scott Hall genius was recorded in March 2021, admitting that his team, quote, scanned every freaking ballot in Coffee County and imaged all the hard drives of every piece of voting equipment, end quote. And just for the record, one more time with feeling, multiple audits of Georgia's 2020 election found 0 evidence of widespread voter fraud. 221-728 song. Okay. Sorry, Justin and I had to talk. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a while. We're busy here. we're commiserating or something like that. 221-7283 is the caller number. That's area code 702-221-SAVE. Let's head to the phone lines right now, and we'll talk to Sarah. You're first up. Thanks for calling.
Oh, hey, Doug, this is Sarah. How are you?
Hi, you're breaking up a little.
Can you hear me better now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hey, I was calling about a couple of the candidates, one that didn't make this stage and one did, for the Republicans. One, Will Hurd. I live in Texas, and he was like the congressman right on the border. He wasn't my congressman. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Doug? Okay. And I had such hope for Will. I don't know if you remember, he did a Facebook Live trip with Beto when they were both congressmen, a car trip to D.C., and it went viral. And they talked about music, and they talked about politics, and it gave me hope. And
Well,
here we are.
Yeah, I would
Here
say
we are. Yeah.
anybody that hangs out with Beto can't be all bad.
Well, I hang out with Beto.
I know. No, but I'm saying if Will Hurd hangs out with Beto, that makes me like Will Hurd even more. And again, I would never vote for him because he's a Republican, but I feel a whole lot better with him in the Oval Office than the orange parasite.
Yeah, but he has, with Trump getting more popular, he has said some really repulsive things. He said on a couple Sundays ago on, I think it was one of the CNN Sunday shows, he said that he would not, he was okay with Abbott busing immigrants, and that it was okay that kiddo died, the 3-year-old, being bused to Chicago because, we have to do something with immigration. And then, just a huge disappointment. And then with Nikki Haley was another, I thought, very promising person for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
She took down the Confederate flag in South Carolina, very brave of her. She made a pretty good UN ambassador. She stood up to Trump with the serious sanctions against Russia. She said she wanted the sanctions. I don't remember this. Trump said, I think she made a mistake, or it was that she misspoke, and she literally said, no, I say what I want to say, and I meant to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And then it seems like as soon as she left the ambassadorship, she became a Trump monkey. I don't know whether she's trying to be vice president. Such a disappointment. And then, I expect on the debate stage, unfortunately, rather than it be about substantive issues, which I care about, and I probably before Trump, I had voted for some Republicans, but I can't do it anymore.
No.
And it's all going to be about, it's not going to be about substantive issues. It's going to be about, I live in Texas. They overrate the immigration problem here. It is not, there's no crisis as far as I see, as far as immigration. It's always been a problem. It's been a problem. It will be a problem. But to me, it's going to be about the scary immigrants, and whether Trump, the January 6th insurrection, it's just going to be about non-issues to most voters. And it makes me sad that basically Trump has just overtaken all news, all substantive issues. And I just was wondering how you feel about it, because I don't really feel like we're going to hear much tonight. I mean, Christie complaining about Trump and everyone else kissing his ass.
Basically, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, like I said earlier, we pretty much know what to expect from Christie. What I'm looking forward to is when he goes after everybody else on the stage when they start to kiss Trump's ass. That's what I'm looking forward to, because he's not just going to go after Trump. He's going to go after anyone who defends Trump.
Well, but my response would be, if I were prepping those other people, is like, well, when did you turn against him? When he gave you COVID? When you were telling him how to beat Biden and exploit his his verbal tics in the IQ and in the debate? I mean, that's the way you attack Christie, is you say, when did you suddenly become anti-Trump? When you decided to run against him?
I agree with you, except I don't think anybody on that stage has the cojones to go after Christie, because they know he'll come back at them twice as hard. But Sarah, I got to run. I got a whole board of phone calls, but I appreciate you calling. Do it again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, take care. 221-7283 is the number. Let's talk to Bob. You're next. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Doug. How you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you?
I'm all right. All the Republicans are bootlickers. I can't stand any one of them. Krispy Kreme is going to be on the stage, toasting Donald, and everybody else will be kissing his butt. It's disgusting. So I wanted to ask you, you remember we had Hillary come through this past weekend here?
Yeah.
You heard we have another one coming by, right?
No.
Yeah, it's Hunter Biden's laptop. Just so you know. That's all they got. That and Hillary's emails. And, let's cut Social Security. Let's impeach Joe Biden. Kevin McCarthy's a bonehead. And I just, it's frustrating. I'm not going to watch it tonight because I got to play bingo. I'm just saying.
Well, I hope you may. I mean, are you playing it like at a casino where you can win money?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you do.
Number.
I hope you do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
If I could have all the money I've lost over the last 40 years here, I'd leave. I'll tell you what, I've lived here so long, the lake was full. Oh, too soon? So, anyways.
Bob will be here all week. Don't forget your waitress.
That's right. You're awesome. Take it easy.
Hey, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Good luck at bingo. 221-7283 is the number. That's area code 702-221-7283. Justin, who we got next?
And everybody knew, liberal, Democrat. Big bad John. Liberal, Democrat.
Big Bad John, you're next. Thanks for calling. We like you so much, we're going to play it twice.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Hey, good, John. How are you?
Hey, I got Trump winning. It's 275. What'd you say the over-under was on the off-sea?
273 and a half.
Oh, I got the over then. Easy
Okay.
piece of cake. That guy's a fat pig. He's a slob, man. You see him wearing those suits that are like you could wrap around a Volkswagen Bug. But hey, I got my popcorn ready for tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. And Christie's just going to mop the floors. DeSantis is going to get he's going to freeze again. He's going to start stuttering. And the other ones, I mean, everybody's there running for second place. By definition, you're not a leader, right? I mean, if you can't criticize your opponent, if you got to bend the knee and kiss his butt, you're not a leader. What are you going to do when the proverbial crap gets real and there's a conflict over in China or thereabouts? That's we've been fiddling around in the Middle East, and that opponent doesn't really have the greatest technology.
Yeah.
But when the crap gets real over in the Far East, that's when you got some. You need a real leader, and anybody who's there to kiss Trump's ring, who you're running against, by definition, you're not a leader. But just my last point. Are you tired of these whiny little bitches? I mean, that's all they do. That's all they do. They just cry and complain. I mean, if it was your neighbor, you'd be like, shut the F up, clown. I'm sick of you crying about everything.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, you'd go over and put a for sale sign on his front lawn.
Yeah, I'd slap him. I'm like, get away from me, man. All you do is cry and complain. You're a whiny little bitch. And these followers here who listen, who say no, he's like, JD, ning, 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 ning. JD, I know you're listening, and I know you know Trump's lying through his teeth, and here's the saddest part of all, JD, I know you just don't care. That's sad, man, that's sad. You got to get a grip, and when you go follow a whiny little bitch, JD, you know what? I'll let you draw your own conclusions there. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, John, always great to hear from you. You take care.
Great show, Doug.
In case you don't know, that was John doing a little bit of the Deliverance theme song, which I have ready for a certain caller if he ever chooses to call in. 221-7283 is the call-in number. That's area code 702-221-SAVE. Who's next, Justin?
Carl. C-A-R-L, Carl.
folks on social media were just treated, I say, to me doing the Trump dance. Did you catch that? See, that's one of the reasons why I want to do the show at home, so we can do crazy things like that and also play crazy videos. But we're working on it. 221-7283 is the caller number. Carl, you are next. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Doug. I don't know if your call screener told you the other day. I called in. I couldn't call. I wanted to thank you for this song. And I got Carl. You spelled it out, C-A-R-L, so that's good.
Well, no problem. You are very welcome, Carl.
Okay. Listen, I just heard again, this is some more of the extreme right-wing radio people saying, well, if they're on the election again coming up on the 24, if they use the Dominion machines, it's going to be rigged again because they come from communist countries and they happen to be made in Canada. They're Canadian.
You can't trust those damn Canadians, Carl.
Huh?
I said, you can't trust those damn Canadians, Carl.
I know. Well, even the name Dominion, it's made in certain dominions in Canada.
I mean, anybody who sits on freezing cold ice and fishes through a hole in the ice, you can't trust them.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd want to thank you again for the song and I'm going to watch tonight because I need some laughs.
Oh, yeah.
Things are slow tonight.
It's going to be rich.
I want to.
And you know who else is going to be watching, Carl? Donald Trump.
What?
Because even though his interview with that Mother Tucker Carlson is airing at the same time, it's already been recorded. And they did that so that even though it's playing at the same time as in counter programming to the debate, Trump will be able to watch the debate.
I wish he was there so it'd be another psychologically impaired.
I'd love to see him I'd love to see him and Christie go at one another. That would be rich.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, I appreciate you calling in, buddy. You take care. 221-7283 is our caller number. Justin, who's next?
I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball.
JD, you're next. Thanks for calling. JD, are you there? What happened to JD? JD, what'd you do? Did you sit on your phone and cut yourself off? Or did you realize you were just no match for Big Bad John and you ran away and hid? That's what I suspect. He just disappeared? Well, you know what? Oh, what was that?
That was him hanging up.
Oh, that was... Oh, come on, JD. Don't tell me you were offended. That little thing I put together, a little birdie told me that your favorite song was That's Life by Frank Sinatra. So and John recommended that I use Deliverance. So being the nice guy I am, I put the two together. I mean, you see how I am? Is that him? JD, we got you back. You're on the air.
I never left.
Oh.
I want to thank Yun's guys from the patch in Pittsburgh. Yun's guys out there in Pittsburgh are playing my favorite comedy show. You remind me of Bob and Ray. If you ever heard of those two guys that used to be a comedy team in the 50s and 60s and 70s, you might look them up and get a laugh. And like I said to Carl the other day, if he knows what it means, semper paratus, Carl. Always be prepared.
Okay. JD, you going to watch the debate tonight?
I probably will, but one other thing before I forget, I got a new bumper sticker today. It's a rhino with a picture of Christie in the head.
Really? You think Chris... Here's what's funny. You think Chris Christie is a Republican in name only because he dares attack the most un-Republican person you've ever had in your party, Donald Trump?
It's amazing. The only Republicans you like Will Hurd and...
I like Republicans who dare to tell the truth, unlike Donald Trump and his brain-dead base, you included.
Well, see, I have a theory about some of these Republicans who act like Democrats. They are in districts when they...
Actually, you're absolutely right. These Republicans that are telling the truth are indeed acting like Democrats.
Well, I think they were originally Democrats, but they couldn't get elected in their area, so they changed to Republican.
Okay? But they still have a little bit of Democrat left in them, and they're telling the truth.
No, they got a lot of Democrat. Basically, they're frauds because they ran as Republicans.
Whatever.
And hey,
Whatever.
John, anytime you want to buy me another beer, I'm ready for it, partner. Like I said, Yun's guys from Pittsburgh are really the best. And let's go Steelers. And
I hear you. Thanks, JD. I appreciate the call. I got to run. Justin's playing the music. It's too early to dance. That means we have to leave. I thank you for listening. I thank you for calling. We'll do it all over again tomorrow, hopefully with you. Until then, you take care.
Vegas has Italian Ice. Philly Freeze Me Italian Ice, also known as water ice, is 100% authentic Italian ice made with authentic recipes and fresh ingredients. Philly Freeze Me is also vegan. Try a single flavor or mix it up and taste test multiple flavors like watermelon and cotton candy or strawberry lemonade and mango. It can be adult friendly with alcohol infused flavors. 2 area locations open until 8 p.m. every day. Follow Philly Freeze Me on social media at Philly Freeze Me or online at phillyfreezeme.com.
Attention Medicare members. Hi, I'm Margaret Pitcher with Light Owl Insurance. I'm a licensed agent in Las Vegas. Make an appointment by calling 725-249-4994. While I do not offer every plan available in your area, any information I provide is limited to those plans. Please contact Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get more information on all of your options. TTY users, call 1-877-486-248-2048. My goal is to ensure that all of your healthcare needs are met. Call me for an appointment at 725-24